Donald Trump last night did what he wanted to do. Number one, he got on the record that his accomplishments in the first 6 weeks were fairly extraordinary, which is true, both good and bad. And number two, he taunted the Democratic Party into making a myriad of mistakes. I think the Democratic Party is on the verge of collapse. And I liken it to 1931, when Herbert Hoover and the Republican Party basically said to the very suffering American people in the Depression, we're not helping you. You got to do it on your own. It's all about self-reliance. We're not going to give you any safety nets. That led to 5 consecutive Democratic wins. 5. Not until Dwight Eisenhower, 20 years later, did the Republicans recover. I see the same scenario for the Democrats. So I wrote a message of the day on BillO'Reilly.com, which I know you read every morning, first thing. It said, hey, didn't the far left, the Elizabeth Warrens, used to be against war, Vietnam, they're against Iraq, Afghanistan, they didn't want to whack Soleimani, Biden didn't even want to get bin Laden. Well, wasn't that their posture? But now, all of a sudden, they want to go in Ukraine and go and go and go and go. What happened? What happened was Trump hatred. And that's what the headline is of the speech last night. When you are hating someone, you lose all perspective. You lose all feeling. You're consumed. And I wrote a book that's going to be out in September called Confronting Evil. And these people who did all these terrible things, they all had one thing in common. They hated. They were just haters across the board. That's what you saw in that chamber last night. You saw it from Green. I thought Al Green was the guy who was saying, love can keep us together, or what, that great soul song. And all of a sudden, this guy from Texas looked like he should be starring in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. He's up there, he's flailing around. And I'm going, wait, do you think you're helping your party? Do you think anybody at home watching this likes this in the House of Representatives? But he couldn't help it because he hates Trump so much. And that's across the board in the Democratic Party.
Well, it's not just the Democratic Party. It's across that chamber. It's across the country, as manifested in social media. I see our ruling class as echoing social media more than they do reality. I do not look. I'm around the country all the time, and I don't confront what I do on social media. You're on to something. It's gotten so absurd, so extreme, so stupid.
I have to disagree with you. I disagree with you. All the polls say that the Republican Party, 90%, is backing Trump. Even though the tariffs might not work, they're saying give it a little time. It's 90, that's a big number, okay? It's the independents who swing, and that's why Trump is president. It's the independents swung toward him. Now, last night, as you rightly pointed out, the independents could not have supported not only the little boy who got cancer and now was so thrilled about being a Secret Service agent, but the 95-year-old grandmother who asked Donald Trump to get her grandson out of Russia, and Trump didn't get applause, okay? The high school student who got hit in the head with a volleyball by a trans guy and his brain damage didn't get applause. I mean, you're sitting there and you're going, something is very wrong. And when you are a hater, and it doesn't matter whether it's Trump or it's your guy across the street, you lose all perspective. You're consumed by that emotion. And that is what is happening.
Listen, I hear it. You're not wrong in your diagnosis. It's just incomplete. I mean, literally, I just sat with Tucker for several hours today, who's like the spirit animal of this administration. And there's plenty of animus to go around. And the reason that party, I see numbers more low to mid-80s right now, which is low for Trump within his party, which makes sense given the economic kind of, let's say, passive progress that he's made since he got in, which is to say none economically. You can't look at Trumpism, you can't look at MAGA and not see a hateful dynamic. There is hateful of immigration. There's hateful of brown people. There is hateful of diversity. There is hateful of inclusion. There's a lot of hate to go around, Bill. It's not just the Democrats. They've just now fallen into it. Hey, thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your screen. And don't forget, click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.